Hey teammate, very good morning, it's Fabio, and another good day in the markets yesterday where I personally took a gold long position. I've added some proof of the actual position being taken here. As you can see here on the left, after the overall liquidation of the low, I waited for a 15-minute change of character in towards the upside, which formed a demand zone from where I went long in towards the highs to create a new higher high. I'll be breaking down the position on the gold chart itself at the end of this video, so make sure to watch. But I just wanted to show you guys what kind of value you can actually get from these market outlooks, because yesterday in the title it said gold buys, and these are the kind of gold buys that I've been taking. Now you can see here on the right, just one of my many funded accounts. Again, I just took a payout for 2.2k here on the 18th of February, but now already I'm back in 1.5% profit. I've taken this position on 4 different accounts, meaning yesterday a 6k TP in total across 4 different accounts, just for a simple 1.5% profit trade. Now, we're going to be diving into the markets here on EURUSD first of all, and EURUSD is still consolidating. Yesterday, we saw a little bit of a higher move in towards the highs again, but still ascending lows, ascending lows. I am still favoring another move in towards the downside. Am I saying it's going to happen right now? Well, obviously, the price action on EURUSD, like I mentioned in yesterday's video, is not ideal. We haven't really seen anything too clean. For myself, EURUSD is just consolidating at the moment. And even though I do expect lower prices, we could still push up higher, for example, to take out liquidity here or liquidity here, for example. But ideally, we would already see that push in towards the downside in the very near future. However, again, looking at the 1 hour, looking at the 15-minute time frame, I just don't really see an entry on this, which makes it hard to enter this. Overall, what we can see here is that the market, again, retracing to around that zone of the 0.5 fib. We have somewhat of a supply zone. We had some internal liquidity taken here. So it could head down lower at any point in time. But this is definitely kind of like a more swing position to trade back down towards that daily point of liquidity. And I'm still expecting this to head down lower. Regarding the entry, you just can't really take it in a different way than with a little bit of a wide stop loss. And my overall target is still the overall daily liquidity low. So that's what I'm looking for on EURUSD. Still short for now. And keeping my eyes open for that daily point of liquidity to get hit in the near future. Going into GBPUSD, we can see that GU has started to sell off from a 1 hour area of supply. So we have a supply zone situated over here, and that supply zone got tapped into. We saw the initial reaction here, liquidated that, and now we've seen a change of character in towards the downside. So from a 1 hour perspective, this is actually a very nice setup, as we've taken out all of the liquidity here on this high. And after that, we've seen the change of character. So a lot of ascending lows left behind. This can definitely sell off in towards the downside. Though, again, if you look at the higher time frame, because the higher time frame is always important to take into account, this here was the breaker structure line. This here is the premium versus discount. So you can see now exactly the 0.5 fib getting hit. Very, very nice. Ideally, we would have taken out this high here as liquidity and then sold off. But in my opinion, GU is good to start pushing down lower, though the real test will come inside of this demand zone now. So we need to break that demand zone, and then on the retest, then you have the optimal shorts. Other than that, ideally, you would then wait for this short position, pretty much like this, or a short position from the highs over there. But still expecting that for the downside on GU, though the ideal 1 hour short position would come once we break this low here. And then once that breaks, retest, boom, then we can sell it off further in towards the downside. The immediate momentum here on GU still remains bearish, right? We have the impulse, the impulse, the impulse, and now we're expecting a new impulse in towards the downside. When do we expect a new impulse? Once we take out liquidity, well, we took out liquidity here, we have liquidity still here, and when we see the change of character. Now, we've seen a 4 hour change of character here, but the order flow is just still bullish. Keep that in mind. I would have been happier to just enter on a change of character if this liquidity high here got taken and we tapped into this supply zone. Then I'm just really happy to enter on a change of character. Now, obviously, I would just preferably wait for us to really confirm that this is a supply zone. And that by waiting for the order flow shift and then getting in that short over there. Now, moving on into dollar index. Dollar index wise, we are still looking for further upside. Very simple. We've left behind descending highs still. And we have simply, still made a connection with the fire demand zone, internal liquidity taken here. And I'm just looking for this to head up higher in the near term future towards the overall daily bump in the road, which is situated over here. So looking for this to head up higher in line with, just the immediate market structure. I still see some more upside for the dollar index in play here. On the higher time frame, we're still consolidating relatively. But I'll drop a fundamental update as well for you guys inside Discord on why there is still more potential for the dollar index to head up higher. But also just from a 4-hour time frame perspective, the 4-hour looks good as the overall order flow is still bullish here. So I'm just looking to continue and seeing that push up higher after internal liquidity got taken. Going into AUD/USD and NZDUSD, AUD/USD continued up higher once again. Just failed to push a little bit lower. Obviously, we see another break of structure here towards the upside. This was the main point of liquidity, but apparently this here, and if you go a time from lower to the 15, that was, let's say, the first, ascending low of all of these lows. That was enough to push the market up higher again. So some nice price action. Again, the Australian dollar relatively bullish. Overall, I must say, AUD/USD, nice moves, guys. Congratulations if you are in. Myself, just not really feeling it here on AU. We do have now, again, 4-hour connection here with demand. So monitor what happens inside of here. We have or are now pretty much coming back down to liquidate this low, but I don't really like the price action that I'm seeing here. Ideally, what would happen is that you break, because you kind of like break the high here and then you come back down for the liquidity low. You would want to see this continue pushing up higher to show that there's real bullish intentions. To me, this is signaling a little bit of a slowdown. Failed to break the high. Has some potential to maybe retrace a little bit deeper. Not really looking at engaging with AUD/USD at the moment, though. Again, if you just look at the higher time frame, still the higher time frame objective is being achieved, right? We have the impulse in towards the highs. We had the pullback phase, and now we have another impulse in towards the highs, where we have had internal liquidity swept here. Not the cleanest of price action, again, very consolidative. But at some point in time, we did indeed see internal liquidity low swept, continuation in toward the highs, and now we're starting to see somewhat of the order flow hold here. So let's see if this order flow, this 4-hour demand zone, can keep on pushing us up higher. I don't really see a good setup over there though on AUD/USD. NZDUSD, also not really a setup that I'm looking at. I'm only looking to trade NZDUSD once it heads down a little bit lower. I don't like these ascending lows here. I don't like that this low is open here. It's not a setup for myself that I like taking personally. The only thing that is looking good for long is the fact that you saw a shift in structure here, breaking towards the upside, internal low taken. And since then, we've seen somewhat of a double break up now, double break up. So we're now back in 4-hour demand. But yeah, you can look for a long from here if you like to be a little bit risky. And if you do see that potential upside, then I would say, yeah, definitely keep an eye out for those longs. You have now here some liquidity low taken. We still have, do we have, no, liquidity was taken here already. So this could be enough, to keep on pushing back in towards the highs if we see somewhat of a change of character again. Though from myself, just a little bit too low probability. Then USDCAD, and what are we seeing there? So USDCAD still has the potential to push up higher. Very, very slow price action yesterday. Not really moving anywhere, still a little bit stuck. I'm still just waiting for the liquidity point to get grabbed. So still looking for a long in towards the upside. USDCHF remains still bullish in demand. The 4-hour order flow is still holding. Very similar to USDCAD, not really moving at all, just consolidative like EURUSD and GBPUSD. I'm still looking for this to head up higher before really seeing another sell-off. But the only reason or the only situation in where we could look for sells if the order flow breaks and then look for the sell, but then you have these descending highs left behind. So I would ideally see another push in towards the highs and then start seeing the sell-off in towards the downside. USDJPY continues its road up higher for now. What you want to see on this is ideally just a liquidation of this low and then an aggressive reaction back in towards the highs to then look for a long. That's what I would be waiting for on USDJPY. But again, USDJPY is unclear because you failed to break this low. It's not on my wish list. For now, though, we have immediate bullish structure. So just follow that in towards the highs. Just wait for a little liquidation and then for a long position to be taken. I'm not longing from here personally because there's no liquidation in the overall move up. And then we, of course, have gold. Now, gold, I explained it at the beginning. I took a long yesterday, which was a very clean long overall. I explained it in yesterday's overall outlook, right, where we had the impulse in towards the highs. Within that impulse, there was clean liquidity around the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement. As soon as that got in, we saw the 15-minute change of character, and that is when we entered. Then again, stop loss could be placed underneath the lows, targeting 1.5%. Simple as that. No real complicated setup. There's also a way that you could just take the setup like this. Overall, gold still looks good to push up higher and to continue pushing up higher. If we look at the 1-hour time frame, We still see this heading up higher, but price action is getting a little bit messy ahead of NFP as we have swept the overall range high, we've swept the overall range low. So don't get caught up too much in the lower time frame price action for now, as it's relatively unclear. Focus on the higher time frame, and on the higher time frame, what happened? We liquidated the internal low here of the overall impulse in towards the highs. Within the overall impulse in towards the highs, we have 2 points of liquidity. We have the first one and we have the second one. The first one got taken with an aggressive reaction in towards the highs. So I'm just looking for this to continue pushing up higher. As simple as that. So that's it for today, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Wish you a fantastic trading day, and we'll speak soon.